What's up, Mavericks? When it comes to POS hardware, most businesses make one of two mistakes. They either spend way too much upfront on equipment they don't fully need yet, or they start with something super basic and end up replacing it a few months later. And both of those paths can get expensive fast. Now, Square solves this problem in a much smarter way. Every device in its lineup runs on the same system, which means what you start with on day one can still be part of your setup years down the line, even if you scale to multiple locations. That means the real question isn't what's the best POS hardware, it's what actually makes sense for your business right now and how to build on that as you grow. So let's break down Square's hardware lineup, what each device is built for, and how to put together a setup that grows with your business. Now, before we get into specific devices, let's talk about why Square's hardware stands out. This isn't a mix and match system where different devices run on different software. Everything runs on the same Square POS platform. That means you won't have to worry about compatibility issues, a learning curve, or running multiple systems as your business grows. You can start with a simple mobile setup, then add terminals, registers, or handhelds later, and it all connects back to the same dashboard. There's also no complicated installation process. You don't need a technician to get set up. You don't have to pay installation fees, and you're not locked into a long-term contract just to get started. You don't have to worry about expensive leases either. Just purchase your equipment upfront or take advantage of financing options for select devices. And whether you're in retail, food service, or running a service-based business, the same hardware setups adapts to how you run everything. So let's take a look at what that actually looks like at each stage. Square's hardware lineup covers everything from mobile payments to full countertop setups. You've got the Square Reader, which connects to your phone for simple on-the-go payments. Then the next setup brings you Square Terminal, an all-in-one device with a built-in receipt printer, or a Square Handheld, which is designed for taking orders and payments anywhere on the floor. If you want to work with your own equipment, there's the Square Stand, which turns an iPad into a full POS station. If you want the full setup, there's Square Register, a dual screen system for more advanced checkout steps. And then there's Square Kiosk, which lets customers place orders themselves. The key isn't just what each device does, it's how they fit into different stages of your business. So let's break each of those down. At the earliest stage of your business, you don't need a full POS setup, you just need a simple, reliable way to take payments and track sales. This is where Square Reader comes in. Square gives you two options at this stage. You can get a free basic mag stripe reader when you sign up for Square, or you can opt for the affordable contactless chip and pin reader, which supports tap, chip cards, and mobile wallets like Apple Pay and Google Pay. Both connect wirelessly to your phone or tablet using Bluetooth, which means you're not buying a whole system. Just download the Square POS app and you can turn the device you already own into a working POS. For early stage businesses like farmers market vendors, pop-ups, food trucks, and mobile service providers, that's more than enough to get started. While you don't need an expensive system or advanced capabilities at this stage, one feature that really matters is offline mode. If you're working events or outdoor setups where your connection isn't reliable, you can still take payments with your Square Reader and sync everything later when you're back online. And if you want to skip hardware altogether, Square also offers Tap to Pay on iPhone and Android. That lets you accept contactless payments directly on your phone, no reader required. Now, this setup works because it's extremely affordable. You don't have to spend a fortune on hardware up front. And if you sign up for the Square free plan, there are no monthly fees. You only pay for the transactions you process. The Square Reader is also super affordable and easy to set up. And I'm talking you can be up and running in just minutes, and all of your sales automatically sync to your Square dashboard, giving you easy access to your data. But while this setup works in the early stages, eventually most businesses outgrow it. If you're processing consistent volume, using your personal phone starts to feel limiting. If customers expect printed receipts or you're setting up in a more permanent space, this setup can start to slow you down. And if you're seeing lines build up or juggling too much during checkout, that's usually the point where it makes sense to move to a dedicated device. Once you move into a physical space, everything changes. You've got a dedicated checkout area and a customer experience that needs to feel more polished and professional. At this stage, it could be your first retail store, a kiosk, or a shop-in-shop setup. On the restaurant side, it could be a counter service cafe, a quick service spot, a bar, or your first dine-in location. And for service businesses, this is where you've got a front desk, whether that's a salon, barbershop, or a fitness studio. Now, for all of that, you need hardware that's built for that kind of environment. Square Terminal is usually the next step. It's an all-in-one device with a touchscreen, built-in card reader, and receipt printer, so you don't need a phone, tablet, or extra equipment to run it. It's also portable, which means you're not stuck behind a counter. You can bring it directly to the customer, whether that's taking payments tableside or moving through a line during busy hours. Then there's Square Handheld. This is a dedicated device that's built specifically for taking orders and payments on the go. In a restaurant, your staff can take orders right at the table, and those orders go straight to the kitchen or kitchen display the second they're entered. There's no more back and forth or bottlenecks at a central terminal. It also has a built-in card reader that supports contactless chip payments, so everything happens right in one place. And during peak hours, it's just as useful for line busting in fast-paced environments. If you want an iPad-based system, Square Stand is a strong option. It turns your iPad into a full POS station with a swivel design that lets customers review their orders, sign, or leave a tip all on the same screen. It also connects to peripherals like receipt printers, cash drawers, and barcode scanners, so you can build out a full checkout counter without replacing everything you already own. And for restaurants, Square KDS is a big one. Instead of printing tickets, orders are sent directly to a digital display in the kitchen. That includes orders placed at the POS, online orders, and even orders placed through third-party delivery apps. Kitchen staff can see everything in real time, mark items as in progress or complete, and keep orders moving without the confusion that comes with paper tickets. No matter which option you choose, Square's hardware at this stage looks professional, feels consistent, and is designed for real-world use, not just workarounds. You can connect printers, scanners, and cash drawers to create a full checkout experience, but it's still flexible enough to adapt to how your business runs day to day. And even with all of that, it's still manageable. You don't need a dedicated IT person to keep things running. But eventually, you'll hit the next ceiling. There are a few situations where it makes sense to upgrade. If you want a customer-facing screen at checkout for things like order review, tipping, or loyalty signups, it could be time for an upgrade. If your volume is high enough that speed and reliability become critical, or if you're opening a second location and need consistency across both, it's probably time to move to the next stage. And in a lot of cases, that next step is about creating a more polished, permanent front-of-house experience. At this stage, you're managing a lot more than just a single setup. This usually looks like multi-location retail stores, high-traffic flagship environments, full-service restaurants, or any operation managing multiple registers or locations at once. And now, consistency and control matter just as much as speed. This is where Square Register starts to make more sense. It's Square's most advanced countertop setup, a fully self-contained system with a dual-screen design. One screen faces your staff and the other faces your customer. That customer-facing display does more than just show the total. It lets customers review their order in real time, add a tip, sign digitally, and even enroll in loyalty programs right at checkout. And because it connects directly with Square Loyalty and Square Marketing, customers can see their points and sign up for rewards without any extra steps. There's no tablet required, everything is built in, and it connects to a full range of peripheral hardware, including receipt printers, cash drawers, barcode scanners, and even scales if you need them. Now, once you're operating at this level, it's all about how everything works together. With Square, you can run multiple registers in a single location, all synced to the same dashboard in real time. And when you open a new location, you're not starting over, you're adding it to the same Square account, same hardware, same system, same reporting. That means you can manage inventory, menus, staff, and performance across every location from one place. You can also assign location-specific pricing, menus, and permissions without needing to create separate systems or accounts. For restaurants, this is where everything really comes together. You might have a Square register or stand at the front, KDS screens running in the kitchen, and handheld devices across your serving staff. Orders are taken tableside, sent directly to the kitchen, and managed across multiple stations, whether that's grill, expo, or bar. At scale, this kind of setup reduces bottlenecks, speeds up service, and helps turn tables faster without adding complexity for your staff. This setup works because everything is built to scale. The dual screen register creates a more polished customer experience while also driving loyalty signups in the background. Your team doesn't need to relearn anything when they move between locations because every device runs on the same system. And from a management standpoint, you can update menus, pricing, or promotions across every location instantly. On top of that, the hardware itself is built to handle high transaction volume, so performance stays consistent even as your business grows. Now, before you pull the trigger on hardware, here are a few things worth knowing. You don't need to buy everything up front. Start with what you actually need today and build from there. All Square hardware is available directly through Square, and some devices can be financed if you want to spread out the cost. If you're opening a second location, it's usually smart to stick with the same setup you're already using. Your team already knows it, so onboarding is faster and smoother, and every device is backed by a standard warranty, so you're covered if something goes wrong. The biggest takeaway here is simple: build your setup in stages, don't overcomplicate it early, and don't hold yourself back with something too limited. The big picture is also simple. Square's hardware isn't just a collection of devices, it's a system that grows with your business. You can start with something as simple as a card reader and a phone, then build your way up to a multi-location setup with registers, handhelds, and kitchen displays, all without ever switching platforms. If you're ready to get started, sign up for free at the link in the description. And if you want to learn more about Square, make sure to check out our video, What is Square POS and how does it work? You'll find that link in the description too. No matter where your business is at, there's a Square setup that grows with you. Thanks for watching, Mavericks. I'll see you in the next one.